AI in Action is brought to you by Alldus International, covering your business's staffing, consulting, and networking needs. Our host brings you the leading minds in AI, sharing their story, their success, and their advice. Focusing on fast-tracking you to the top, AI in Action cuts through the hype to help you kickstart your data science career. To listen to the latest AI in Action podcast, head over to www.alldus.com/podcast or subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Podcasts.
Hello, welcome to the AI in Action podcast. And we are chatting today with Korbinian Spann, and he is MD and Head of Data at Insaas. Korbinian, delighted to have you on the show today.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
So for people who don't necessarily know your background, would you mind giving us a little bit of a background of you and then tell us more about Insaas and some of the problems that you solve?
So I'm from Munich in Germany. And after school, I got a little bit in my history. I left Germany for Israel and Egypt and lived there for more than 13 months. So I learned the languages, had a really great time, but I had to come back, obviously, as you can imagine. I had to study something. So after 13 months, I started humanities. That was not so much fun. So I switched later on to studying Hebrew and Arabic, which I already knew. And when I started my PhD topic, I started also to focus on software. And that was there was a root cause to this because I focused on the terminologies of strangers in Talmudic literature. So it's a really specific topic around conversions, enemies, and strange cults. So really very specific topics. And as you can imagine, you cannot read all of the text and process it. So I had to find a software. And this is when I got in touch with Columbia University, and they had such software, and I wanted to use it for my PhD, of course. But I couldn't do it in Germany. So I was very curious and applied myself to American universities and was super lucky that I got into Harvard. So I went to Harvard and finished my PhD over there, which was a really fantastic time. But in the end, I didn't stay in university. I wanted to work, and so I started to work as a marketeer, as an SEO, expert for search engine optimization, which was really close to my studies. And so, as time went by, I worked for agencies. I worked as an in-house expert, and in my last job, I had to prepare marketing dashboards and integrate customer feedback. And here I am with Insaas, because there was no real solution in the market. Yeah, and that was the point when I started my own company.
Thank you very much for that overview. So let's delve more into Insaas and some of the problems that you're looking to solve. And for people that don't know much about this area, could you tell us more about it?
Yeah. So at Insaas, we solve basically the problem of untapped data sources in companies, meaning especially on products and services. And we want to make them accessible to marketing managers. So meaning we are basically a text analysis solution. So what we do is we evaluate the sentiment and aspects of the text, colloquial language in German, and focus on this unstructured data, like of sources of blogs, forums, and emails. So we are a little bit different than other solutions because we focus especially on explainable AI. What do I mean with this? We focus especially on the annotation and performance measurement, meaning we have our own annotation tool, and we, together with our customers, look at the performance metrics like recall and precision. So we create measurement frameworks, especially for verticals, for instance, like insurance, to translate the colloquial language into performance metrics that companies can act on it. So our key objective as a company is to make the colloquial language usable for companies. And why do we do this, you can ask? Because we believe in the great potential of AI to create a better world with personalized products and services, more effective and more efficient, environmentally friendly and meaningful for employees. And of course, in the end, of course, customer-centric. And this is why we founded Insaas.
Excellent. So tell me more about some of the benefits and work that you do and some of the challenges facing yourself when you're actually selling AI products to customers who don't necessarily understand about it.
Yeah, that's true. So I think expectation management especially is key for us, for all of us working with AI, I think. And many customers know about AI, of course, but they don't necessarily understand the full potential of AI products. And that's a problem. because we as a company want to use AI because it's scalable. As I told you, our big focus is customer centricity, and we want to create automatic measurement frameworks to enable customer centricity. So we have to make management understand how and what they can expect from our software. So the main point is, for me, why companies cannot easily do it themselves. Many companies ask us, yeah, but we can do it ourselves. I would say no. Why? Because first of all, you have to prepare the data. Companies do have a lot of data, but they cannot really act on it. They cannot really prepare it. If you don't have the data, there's no AI. You don't need it. Second, you need a domain expertise in data science, and you need to apply it. It's a problem. If you then don't have it, you cannot do anything. And the third thing is, it is very time consuming to train the models, especially when you work, of course, with supervised models. So think about competitor data, for instance, that is publicly available. So I don't see a lot of companies that can work on, act on it. And of course, in the end, the IT setup has to have special requirements for the processing of AI. So all of that shows you a little bit that there's a lot of expectation management when you talk to customers from my own perspective.
It's a really, really interesting problem. They're really, really interesting problems that you're actually solving day to day, and taking customers on the journey to sharing the benefits they can reap. And sometimes you kind of handhold them, but once they see the benefits, I'm sure there's no turning back. Tell us some of the potential of AI with textual data.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, at least this is our hope, that there's no turn back, as we are a subscription model, right? So we are not a service company, we are a product company. So for me, artificial intelligence is mainly about the automation to reduce human labor and efforts. Why? Because we want to have better quality of results, especially when it comes to the interpretation of large data sets. Like, think about thousands of reviews. Who wants to read thousands of reviews? You can try it for yourself on Amazon. It's very hard. Manual labor is not only inefficient, it's also not precise enough, and it's not standardized. So you cannot really compare the results if, for instance, two managers look at 5,000 or 500 or even 5 reviews. So you can do it yourself, right? Try to summarize Amazon reviews. It will not work out very well. So this is why we use automation. And in the end, of course, we want to discover new insights and outliers in huge amounts of data sets. So this is the potential of AI, especially in NLP, in natural language processing, that we can summarize huge amounts of data, like hundreds of thousands of reviews, in a short amount of time, in a few hours, and have great results.
How important is research in this area to take us further on?
I think research is very important, for sure. For me, we are only at the very beginning of understanding the full potential of AI. So if you think about it, right? So how many working principles do we have in natural language processing? And basically, we have BERT, if you are very honest. So now, since last October, we do have models like Smith from Google, which is a new set we can try and work on. But there are not a lot of working principles in NLP. It's very much research based in the moment, which is great. But it also shows you how important research is. So for instance, if you take Insaas, we do have a close relationship with universities and are on the way to set up new research projects for pharma, for instance, in the moment. We will analyze patients' preference in this project in public and internal documents and focus, in this case, on oncology. So this is a pure research project, right? For me personally, it's also very interesting that we will see new developments in regard to lifelong learning in AI. So lifelong learning is not only a topic for human beings to always progress and collect more insights, but it's also for AI very important that AI never stops learning, always evolves around insights and processing of data. Personally, I believe also in the potential of quantum NLP, which is a very new focus topic for us as a company as well. So the combination of text classifiers and quantum computing. So I think we will enable great results with this new methodology. So in the end, I can summarize that research is very, very important for us as a company, but also for the field of NLP.
You've been listening to the Alldus podcast as part of the AI in Action series. I've been speaking to MD and Head of Data at Insaas, Korbinian Spann. Korbinian, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
AI in Action is brought to you by Alldus International, covering your business's staffing, consulting, and networking needs. Alldus offer an exec search program. Alldus can help you discover how data science and AI can transform your company. With our unrivaled network of C-suite executives and senior AI professionals, we offer retained search services across the US and Europe. Get the Alldus advantage. Become a member of the Alldus community and enjoy some of the following: AI meetups. Once a month, our community gathers to listen to some of the leading experts in the world of data science and AI. Our speakers come from all over the world, including Dublin, Boston, and Frankfurt. We also have our AI mentors. Our experts will provide mentoring to Alldus members. And don't forget our AI in Action podcast. Each week we have guests from all over the world talking us through their education, career, and more. Become an Alldus member and get the Alldus advantage. For more information and to sign up for our newsletter, log on to www.alldus.com. That's www.alldus.com. Alldus International, empowering through AI.